And we are live. Here we are drinking juice with Justin and Jake. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing this morning, pal?
Awesome. Like always.
Yeah, you're looking pretty awesome today. And that nice never give up sweatshirt. Where'd you get that nice sweater?
Oh, from some guy. Yeah.
You must be a pretty cool guy.
No, not really.
No.
No, he is. Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, listen, thanks for joining in today. For everyone out there, we've been talking since 5 o'clock this morning?
Yeah.
It's 6:30 now, so we kind of had a little bit of a warm up here and just had a good conversation. It's we call it drinking juice with Justin and Jake, but actually, I'll be honest with you today. I got coffee, no juice today.
I'm on
what
the
do you
tea.
got, Jake?
I'm on the raspberry tea, green tea.
Raspberry tea, beautiful. I got Robin's coffee, and I threw a little bit of lion's mane in there, and I also got a little bit of cacao. I don't know how to say that word, but that pure chocolate stuff. And I use the lion's mane. It's supposed to help you with concentration and focus. And the cacao is a heart opener. So it kind of opens up your heart and kind of helps me love Jake a little bit more, even though I love him a lot. And so it's kind of the topic I wanted to touch on today, Jake, was love. And I shared a video with you this morning. Are you able to share it with everyone else?
Yes. Check it out.
All right, so you might want to press. Oh, there we go. So what you don't see. So
Should I
here we
restart
have
this?
childhood trauma, abuse, lack of love, insecurity, loneliness, all that negativity that life is hard. There it is. Look, pulls the lighter out. Oh, look at that. We lost our spark. And just that easy. A little bit of help. Look at that. Look at the flame. Be kind. You don't know their story. Help somebody today. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today, guys, is being kind to one another. And that goes like even, you may not even know somebody's struggling, and just being kind to them could change their day. What do you think, Jake?
Love is the answer to a lot of problems in this world today.
It's funny you mention that because Nat and I, we went to see this lady. I don't know, it's probably last year. I'd have to check with Nat to see when it was, but this lady owned a little boutique. She does readings, and when we met with her, she was trying to explain to me something, and I kind of had this notion that she was a little bit crazy. She seemed a little bit out there, but I was dealing with depression at the time, and I was really struggling, and she kept telling me that the answer to life was love. She's like, once you have love, and actually she was saying it in French. She's here in Dieppe, and every time she asked me, she's like, what's the answer, Justin? And I was like, I'm not sure. She's like, l'amour. She's like, l'amour. Quand tu as l'amour, ben, y a rien d'autre. C'est juste l'amour. And I'm like, holy fuck, like, what does that mean? But it really is that simple. Once you have love, and I'm going to start off with yourself. Once you start loving yourself, because if you don't love yourself, I don't think you're able to love everyone else or
No.
anyone else for that matter.
No, that's right. Like in this day and age, that's taught to be selfless, I guess. But that's totally wrong because it starts with number one, right? You, yourself. Because you got to love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. You know. So like in this society, we go a little wrong that way. You know, we're conditioned to think that it's not good to be selfish, but you know, self-love is the number one thing. You got to look after number one first, so then you can take care of others, your loved ones. You know.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I've been trying to tell my mother that for the last little while because she always says that her kids come first,
Mm.
and I think just knowing you and your family dynamics, I think your mother probably has a similar
Yeah.
belief system that your kids are first, but
Mm.
if you put your kids first, well, then that means you're second. But if you're not healthy and you're not loving, then you're not going to be able to be there for your kids, right?
No, that's right. No, it starts like you say with yourself. You got to have love for yourself, and if you don't, you got to find a way to figure out how to love yourself. And that might be a hard thing to do for some people, including me. You know, it was a struggle. You know, every day getting up, not looking in the mirror, not just changing
Yeah.
that thought process of the pushing out the negative thoughts. You know, and then just telling myself, I love you. You know, that kind
It's
of
pretty
stuff.
awkward at first, when you're actually
Yeah.
like look in the mirror and you're like, I love you, man. I love
Oh
you.
man, it was hard to do. Like I'd look
Yeah.
at myself and be like, get out of the mirror. Like, I love you. Oh, yeah. It was awkward, man.
Yeah.
Just to say I love you to my parents at this age was awkward. I remember the day I was sitting over here and it was killing me that I couldn't say it. I don't know what it was. Something to do with ego and the man masculine thing. I don't know. But I knew I was going to do it. And it was just, I didn't care how uncomfortable it was, man. I
So
was
you
just
literally
like,
had to prepare yourself for that.
well, I was just going through this struggle in my own head, like a war. I see my dad walking down the road one day. And I was just thinking, like, I heard he was getting kind of sick there. Something was wrong. We didn't know. He was taking weak spells. And I was just kind of like thinking, like, man, what if he passes or something? I never get to tell him like what I truly think, you know? So I just said, frig this. I just started walking up the road and I see him there. I was like, hey, Dad. I said, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say this to you, but, I fucking love you, man. Like, and I give him a hug and I said, you're awesome, and he goes, I love you too. And he had a hard time saying it to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we never said it. And I said,
Wow.
I'm going to start saying this every day because I mean it, And every night now I go to bed, like, well, the first night I went over and I told Mom and Dad, I was like, I love you. And it was just so awkward there. Like, because they were just
Yeah.
breaking that cycle of whateverness.
Yeah.
And then now it's so simple. Like, it feels
Now it
good.
flows, right?
Yeah, I tell strangers I love them.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, you weren't able to tell your own father.
Yeah.
Like, you had to build the courage to tell your own father that you loved him, even though you always did love him, right?
Yeah.
It was just getting the words out.
Yeah.
And now you're able to go up to a complete stranger
Yeah.
and tell them you love them.
Yeah. Yeah. Just getting out of my head.
They must think you're fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah. It don't matter. It's the truth, Like, I have so much love for everything.
Nice,
I remember
man.
what it was like to be a child again, like with that unconditioned love, with the passion,
Mm.
But like between the child and growing up, it's something happened there, like conflict and stuff. It just thoughts in my head, and like you have to almost pull your pieces back and then recondition, like unlearn yourself and relearn again, almost, like.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that end, Jake. Like, and I think that's the main thing is like when we're born and we're children, we're unconditioned and we're full of love. Like, so as a child, you don't understand when somebody, like, I'll even look at myself, for instance. I've always kind of teased kids and thought it was funny that, you know, I could tease them and they didn't get it. But now looking back, I'm like, that's not really the right way to do it, Justin, because a kid is so innocent. He's so true. He's full of so much love. He can't understand, you know, why you would tell him something that's not true. So, not sure exactly where I was going with that thought. That happens to me quite often, but
Well, I remember the first time I ever had a taste of jealousy in my life, and I had asked my father, what is this? Like, what's going on here? Like I was in school, in high school. Actually, no. This is the first time I really put a finger on what jealousy was. I didn't understand because I didn't have a jealous bone in my body. And there was a lad here that, you know, we hung out all the time, like after school and stuff. Like he's always around. But then going to school, he had got his license, and I don't know what happened. He wouldn't stop and pick me up. Like he wouldn't take me to school. Like it was just like, I thought maybe it was me. Thought maybe like, you know, I'm like he was scared to be around me and see me, and like. But then after school, he'd be all around me. Like at school, there he wouldn't even talk to me. Just like, and I was asking my father, I was like, "What is this? Like, is it me? Am I like embarrassed to be around? Like, am I embarrassing? Like, you know?" And Dad was saying it's jealousy. It's things you have and stuff. And I'm like, oh, what? Like, but he doesn't mind coming here and using them all after, you know, like because I had a dirt bike. You know, and it didn't come easy for us. We were a poor family. Like we struggled. You know, it just took me by surprise, and I dealt with it my whole life, jealousy with my friends, and I was always the outsider. I was always the lone guy, you know. Wonder why I wasn't getting invited to parties and all that kind of stuff, and it just kind of made conflict in my mind. Like the idea couldn't understand it.
right.
Even to this day, I really don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a great story, man. I really thank you for sharing that story with us.
No problem, man.
It's actually beautiful, just like you, Jake. You're beautiful.
I know.
All right, man. Well, I don't know. I think maybe we should probably wrap it up for today. I don't want to kind of go too deep or too long, and you know, I just kind of want to keep this stuff kind of short and sweet for right now. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today, bud.
Oh, thank you, Justin. Thank you, buddy. Love you, buddy.
You know, love you too, man. And hope you have a great day. And we'll catch up maybe tomorrow at what are you thinking? 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock. All right.
Sounds awesome to me, man.
All right, buddy. Peace.
Oh yeah.
I love it, man. Love it. Attaboy. All right, bud. Have a good day.
You too, man.
Peace.
Later.